Julio Jones, there's a situation going on with the Falcons. I guess they have some issues with cap space, and they might not be able to get all that draft picks in because they don't have enough room. So there's talk that now they're going to take phone calls on Julio Jones, who's played tremendously down there, right? TJ, Hall of Famer, right? Down there in Atlanta.
Oh, 100% Julio's
has done,
Hall of Famer.
Right. He's done everything that you could ask from him, but now they might want his head so that they can get space. Let's hear from the general manager there in Atlanta on Julio Jones.
Well, that's one of those things that when you're doing things the right way in an organization, you have to listen if people call. So on any player, and especially we are in a difficult cap situation. That's just a circumstance, and it's not a surprise for us. We knew the circumstance we're in. Our administration has done an excellent job up to this point, getting us in position to be able to manage the cap, and yet we still have more work to do. So when teams call about any players, then we have to listen and we have to weigh it and we have to determine what's best for the organization, and we have to handle everything with class. Obviously, that particular player, we hold him in high regard, and he's special, what he's done and what he continues to do here. But we have to consider any players if it's right for the team, because we have to do what's best for this organization.
TJ, your reaction, you cool with it? This is just football. Woe is me. Oh, well, Julio Jones, pack your bags. We don't care what you've done in Atlanta lately. We're talking about the future, and you're not a part of it. Where are you on this?
You know, it kind of goes back to what we talked about in the first hour, Rob. I truly believe you have to do what's best for the organization. And obviously I was a former player. And ultimately, you understand that you have a job to do. But with Julio being a lifelong, he got drafted by the Falcons.
Right, he's one of theirs.
Tremendous things for the Falcons. When you think Atlanta Falcons, you think Julio Jones.
I think choking in the Super Bowl, but that's another story. Go ahead.
Okay, when you think players, you think Julio Jones. And so I get the sentiment of let's let him retire, let's not trade him. But the Falcons are picking fourth for a reason. They're not very good.
Right. They were
so
terrible.
Whether they have
their
Julio
defense
or not,
was god-awful.
If you can get some assets for a receiver that's 32, for a receiver that I believe had 700 yards, for a receiver the last few years has missed quite a few games, and you can get something for him, and when I say get something for him, I mean a minimum of a second-round draft pick, I believe you have to do it. Now, a second-round draft pick is not going to come in and give you what Julio can give you, but he's going to be cheaper. He's going to be at least 9 to 10 years younger. And so that's something you have to look at. And to be honest with you, Julio might welcome it. He's probably tired of losing. He might welcome it if he can get to a team with a competent quarterback, a team that has a chance to win. And so he might be sitting here like, these people up here feeling sorry for me, and I really want to get up out of here. And so you just don't know.
Yeah, but here's my issue. Why are they in cap hell? Why haven't they taken care of their business so that they don't have to give up a talented player like that in order just to juggle the books? I think that's what bothers me is where's their due diligence? Who's running the books? Are they running the Falcons like a mom and pop store? I mean, why are they in this cap hell that they have to give up a commodity, a guy who's been a big part of that organization and for many, many years?
That is you know when you're in the front office.
I mean, is that fair for me to ask?
Yes, but when you're in the front office, Rob, you almost have to. You're playing chess. You have to think 2 to 3 moves ahead, 2 to 3 years ahead, and how are we gonna navigate through this? His cap will be this. We're here with our cap as a team. When do we move off of this guy? Do we move a year or two too soon rather than a year or two too late? I mean, there's just so many things that you take into account. Don't look at the age. You look at the production, the injury history, what he can bring to the team. And if he can bring a ton to the team, but the team isn't ready to take that step, Do we move player because we're not ready, but we can still get something for player? About time we're ready, the player might be on the back nine, and now we can't get what we could have gotten for him the previous year. And so there's just so much that goes into that. And again, I guarantee Julio's sitting here like, man, if I can get to a team with a nice quarterback, I would welcome this trade. Like, I would want this trade.
So you think that he's ready to move on, that, playing your whole career somewhere doesn't matter, not being able to retire as a Falcon. I mean, it's not like they never won anything. They were in the Super Bowl up 28-3. He should have a Super Bowl ring. He should be king of Atlanta. I mean, for all the ability.
He'll still be there. Let's just, okay.
Now he's just Burger King. I mean, I'm talking about, real, king, as if he won a championship.
You think about this. Name a great player in the last 20 years that has played with one team.
Calvin Johnson, but he did quit prematurely.
8 years.
Yep.
And so if he gets to 11 and 12, does he finish with the Detroit Lions?
And I know it's happened for quarterbacks. Look at all the quarterbacks. They all wind up. Tom Brady had to move on.
And that's
Peyton
my point.
Manning moved on. Joe Montana moved on.
Come on, man.
So you're just saying this is the business. You got to man up and face it. You played a long time in Cincinnati. How many years were you there before you moved on?
9. And this is the thing, though. Like, before I left Cincinnati, I was so ready to go. Like, oh, my God, I can't wait to get out of here.
But that was only because you had a couple of bad Coney dogs when you were there,
No,
right?
You know what's funny? I never even tried them.
Never tried one in Cincinnati?
Never. All the years I was there. Never, ever, ever.
And
never
people from Cincinnati tried to get you to try them, didn't they?
Yes. I never had that nor the Waffle House. And then when I left Cincinnati and I tried the Waffle House, I said to myself, I've cheated myself this whole time. Never had it, and I love it now.
The Waffle House, right.
But if you just think about that. Oh, that's when I left, I was excited. And then when I got there, I regretted it.
Did you really? Why did you regret it? Were you like, this didn't feel like where you should be?
It was different, Rob. Like, it was different to the point of, and we had some success in Cincinnati. But when I tell you, the coach, like, we were prepared. We were ready. Like, we probably were over-prepared. We had too much information. Like, I got to Seattle, and, like, for instance, we'd have a play. They'd call a play, and I'd say, how are we running this in single high coverage? If it's cover 1 or cover 3. If it's too high coverage, whether it's 2-man, cover 2, cover 4, invert, whatever it may be, how do we want? Because in Cincinnati, it was, if it's these coverages, this is the way the quarterback expects you to run the route. I got this, and we went over all those coverages, and we had to understand how we would run the route. So me and the quarterback would be on this. I got to Seattle, it was like, hey, when we get this coverage, how you want to run the route? Oh, just get open. I'm like, get open?
Get open? Who was the coach back then?
I'm not even going to put the OC on blast like that, but y'all can look it up yourself.
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here like, wow. I needed that structure of being on the same page with the quarterback. I needed that we see the same movie from the same lens. And that wasn't the case. And so ultimately, when you go from one team to another after you've been there for so long, ultimately there's only one thing that matters, man, and it's football. But we as players, we put other things into the picture that matter when it really should just be football. But I learned it the hard way. You can't go back and change it. And I no lie, man, I called the coaches when I was in Seattle, and I straight up told them, I said, man, I really miss you guys. Like, I said some things, or I might have done some things, but you guys are great coaches. I never told you that, but being here, I realized how good of coaches I had there.
Wow. How did they take that? Were they flattered?
They were appreciative of that because, I'm not the type of guy that that says those type of things. But
I was going to say, that seems like that wouldn't come out of your mouth, but you really, it was that truth. Stark to you, right?
Yeah, it was the truth. Like, I learned a lot of football from our offensive coaches with the Bengals. Like, they taught us football, and we were very well prepared on what the defense would try to do. And like I say, when I went to Seattle, that wasn't the case.
So do you think Julio? So your estimation is Julio will welcome this. He's not going to be bummed out.
Oh, I'm not saying
he's not
he
going to
would
be
welcome
mad.
it. I don't know how he feels, but if he could get to a better situation football-wise, 100% he would welcome it because he's going to be playing in meaningful football games. Those little knickknacks that are bothering you when you're 4-7, they not bothering you as much when you're 8-3 or 7-4. Now you fight through those.
Right.
You're willing to play through those type of things. But when you see there's no light at the end of the tunnel, there's no playoffs, it's, I can't go this week. But when you have a chance, you'll fight through those things. And so that's just what it is. Whether he's in that state of mind, I don't know. But I could imagine he's probably has some teams like, if I can get here, they going to see vintage Julio. And so that could be the case.
All right, we want to hear from you. Should the Falcons have any loyalty towards Julio Jones? And do you think we might or do you think he might welcome a change?
We got Derek in the ATL, your stomping grounds, and what we talking about. Talk to us.
Yeah, fellas, I personally want to see them one last hurrah with Julio. I think they wasted both him and Matt Ryan by putting them in offensive systems which didn't maximize their talents. They were most successful, of course, in the Shanahan years, but a lot of people don't realize this. But when Shanahan left, there was a guy in our building who I can't understand for the life of me why they didn't make him the OC, who was Matt LaFleur. They didn't make him the OC. He left and went to Tennessee. Of course, now he's the Green Bay coach and running that Shanahan system. And from what I understand, Arthur Smith, our new coach, has a lot of the same concepts. He's committed to running the ball. And I think Matt Ryan flourished and Julio in the system was a zone blocking system, and they committed to the run. So I really want to see just one last year with Julio. I know we're going to have to let him go at some point, but I'm hoping that they keep him around just one more year. He's been a consummate pro, always been, productive. So I'm hoping that we have one last chance to try to get the best out of him and Matt and try to make a one last push, man. That's what I'm hoping.
All right. Appreciate the call.
Makes sense if they can win, but you never know. They defensively, they have a long way. They have a long way to go.
It is so bad. I mean, how many games did they give up last year, TJ? Late in the game.
How many games didn't they give up would probably be the better question.
Right, you're right. It was so bad. 877-99 on Fox if you want to jump in.
Keith, in the Bayou in New Orleans, talk to us.
TJ, Uncle Rob, how y'all feeling tonight, fellas?
Man,
What's
we're doing
going
great
on?
on the Trash Talking Tuesday. Are you kidding?
Yes, sir. So my favorite topic, the trash talk the Falcons, man. But listen, on a serious tip, Terry Fontenot, who they got from the Saints organization, was our director of college scouting. The guy knows his stuff, man. The guy was the architect of the 2017 draft, where we hit on everybody. I think that he believes he can get another Julio-style player. Kyle Pitts will be there for. Jamar Chase will be there for. He can trade back and get Terrence Marshall from LSU, who's a stud. TJ knows about him. So I think they got guys they can get some value for in the draft. I mean, he's become. He's aging. He's not old, but he's getting older. He's still very productive. You can get something for him, move him. So hey, get him out of my division, man. I won't miss. I promise you that.
All right.
I think if they find a way to move Julio, then I would almost bet they take Jamar Chase with the 4th pick.
You think so?
If they do that, yeah, him or it would have to be him or Pitts. But you're losing Julio. Do you bring in Pitts, who is not a receiver but can play like one, but he's a tight end? It would be one of those two guys, and so that to me would be if they draft one of those two guys, Julio's going to be moved. That's just the assumption that I would make if they did go in that direction. But who knows? Marty in Kentucky, what say you?
What up, Marty?
What's going on, Rob? How you doing, TJ? It's good to talk to you this Trash Talking Tuesday.
No doubt. Hey,
Before we
hey,
get
I
on
saw that
subject-
video. I saw that video of River in his little league uniform. What is that? T-ball he's playing?
Well, it's peanut. They throw three
Peanut.
pitches, and then after that, they get to hit off the tee. But he doesn't plan on hit off the tee any. He's pretty confident.
Oh, very nice. I saw him. Very nice. And what he had a red uniform on, right?
Yeah. You know he loves that red.
I know. I got him the red Jordans. I know he loves red. Definitely.
Yeah. Now he's got some red Jordan and some red Mike Trout. But
Very nice.
guys, if you remember the movie where they said "Blue, you're my boy."
Oh, yeah, that's a famous drop. Hey, Blue, you're my boy. We got that, don't we?
Yeah. Well, people call me Blue at work and a lot of places, and it took years to live that down, not totally. And I got to ask TJ, how many years did it take to live down the Houshmandzadeh commercial?
Oh man, you know what's fun? I've always thought it was funny. I never so live it down. It never bothered me.
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah.
It never bothered me.
For people who don't know,
bit.
can you explain it, TJ, the commercial?
I believe it was 05,
Fantasy
06.
football.
Yeah, I don't remember the year, but obviously with my name being as long as it is.
Do people have a problem with your name? I think you have an unusual name, but it's easy to say. I've never had an issue with Houshmandzadeh.
No, it was a compliment.
You know
there
what
was
it
a guy
is? It's
wanting
so
to pick
many
him.
letters.
Yeah, the
That's
player
what it
on the
is.
commercial. I'm sorry, TJ, you go ahead.
No, you got it. It's you. You go ahead.
Well, the fantasy football player on the commercial, you know, he wanted to pick TJ, and he couldn't pronounce his name, so he just jumps up and he's got an early pick, and he's like, TJ, how's Mazzilli? Who's Mazzala? And he says it like 3 or 4 times wrong, and then everybody looks at him. He's just like, championship. And it was a great commercial. It was hilarious. And I know that TJ's probably heard that for years.
Oh, I still hear it.
It was a compliment to the skilled player he was. And trust me, as a Pittsburgh fan, and I got screamed out of Paul Brown many a times. I respected your game. And guys, on the Julio subject, I
in the
wouldn't take it as
backyard
an
and didn't even
insult.
cheer for the Bengals. In the backyard, right across the bridge. Wow.
Right across the 471 bridge. Unbelievable.
I'm sorry, TJ. I grew up a Steelers fan out here in West Kentucky. We really didn't have a team close to us. But Julio, if I'm Julio, I don't take it as an insult. There's still teams that want you at that age, and you're a wide receiver. It shows you're talented. I think that Atlanta went all in on him, and it didn't work out during his prime. And if they can still get something out of him, they want to, because they probably feel in that competitive of a division, they don't have time in his window to do something with him, and another team might be able to give an opportunity to get a ring.
All right. Hey, Marty, that's fair. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right.